Well, as India fights the coronavirus, two states are suddenly recording a very high mortality rate. Now, yes, Maharashtra continues to be at #1 in terms of cases and death, but if you just look at the last 7 days, then the state of Gujarat and the state of Madhya Pradesh have been a major cause of concern for administrations. Now, the experts who've been studying the rise of mortality rate in these two states believe that it could be because both these states are actually witnessing a virulent strain of coronavirus. Here's the full report. As India battles it out in the pandemic theatre, hoping to stem the wrath of a raging virus, the virus itself seems to be extracting a higher price from two states of the country, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. To be precise, Ahmedabad in Gujarat and Indore in Madhya Pradesh. Gujarat till now has recorded 151 COVID-19 deaths. 104 from them came from Ahmedabad. Madhya Pradesh has recorded 103 COVID-19 deaths. 60 of them have come from Indore. The mortality rate of the states registering maximum fatalities in Ahmedabad and Indore is much higher than the entire country. As deaths started to peak in these two states, so did interest on why the higher death rate. Red flags were raised whether these two states were witness to a more virulent strain of the coronavirus. The L strain, deadlier, more aggressive, empirically registering a higher mortality rate than the S strain of the virus. That doubt has now sadly been confirmed for the state of Gujarat.
दो प्रकार के इस वायरस के स्ट्रेन हैं, एक एस स्ट्रेन जो उतना घातक नहीं है और दूसरा है एक एल स्ट्रेन जिसकी ज़्यादा एक विरुलेंट जिसकी असर ज़्यादा होती है। तो इसकी भी एक अनुसंधान रिसर्च हमारे साइंटिस्ट कर रहे हैं और माना जा रहा है कि शायद इस स्ट्रेन गुजरात में है, इस वजह से ये थोड़ा इस तरह से मृत्यु के अंक भी बढ़ रहे हैं।
For Madhya Pradesh, it's a fatalistic wait. Investigations of samples have been sent to confirm strain of the coronavirus.
पूरे विश्व में यह पाया गया है कि कोरोना वायरस की अलग अलग जीन्स हैं जिनके स्ट्रेन्स अलग अलग हैं। तो नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ वायरोलॉजी पुणे में यह स्टडी की जानी है कि अलग अलग स्थानों के सैंपल्स लेके कि वो उनकी स्ट्रेन्स की स्टडी करेंगे, उसका कल्चर करेंगे, ऑटोमेटेड जीन एक्सट्रैक्शन करेंगे।
Medical research has now pointed towards two major strains of COVID-19, L and S. Whereas the L type was more prevalent in the early stages of the outbreak in Wuhan, it is also more aggressive, spreads more quickly. On the other hand, the S type, which is an evolutionary older and a less aggressive strain, might be relatively weaker and doesn't spread as quickly as the L strain. The dominance of this more aggressive Wuhan L strain is what experts now believe is causing the higher COVID-19 mortality rates in Gujarat and possibly now the state of Madhya Pradesh. Bureau Report, India Today. All right, the latest news break coming in from Madhya Pradesh itself. The Health Minister, Narottam Mishra, is seen clearly violating every rule that has been laid down for social distancing in the times of coronavirus, COVID-19. The newly minted health minister, mind you, this is a health minister of a state which, like we just pointed out, is experiencing in the last 7 days a very high mortality rate. And this man in charge of the health ministry of this particular state seen violating every rule in the book laid down by experts, by doctors, which even children know now that social distancing is the norm. You can see Narottam Mishra right there at a puja, and there is absolutely no care for social distancing. You can see him there indulging in a little prayer, taking blessings. But all of this could be normal, but not in the times of coronavirus. These visuals, viewers, are fatalistic. All right, let's move on now. As numbers of coronavirus cases mount in the country, the government in its presser said that 1,396 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. India's recovery rate also improved to 22.17%. The government also informed that truck mobility in the country is up by 76%. Let's hear some of these announcements today.
कल से अगर हम देखें तो भारत में 1,396 नए पॉजिटिव केस आए हैं, विच टेक्स आवर टोटल कंफर्म केसेस टू 27,892. 20,835 पीपल जो हैं वो एक्टिव मेडिकल सुपरविजन में हैं. COVID-19 does not see race, religion, color, caste, creed, language or borders before striking. Our response and conduct thereafter should attach primacy to unity and brotherhood. We are in this together.
Meanwhile, today, through video conferencing, the Prime Minister held a marathon 3-hour meeting with state chief ministers on the road ahead in the fight against coronavirus. The meeting was to discuss on whether the lockdown must be extended and also addressed concerns of state governments.
A week to go for Lockdown 2, Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired a meeting with chief ministers to decide on an exit strategy. At the end of the marathon meeting, one thing became clear: the lockdown could continue in COVID red zones but with more relaxation in other areas. Sources have told India Today the Prime Minister has asked the Chief Minister to decide on lifting the curbs based on red, orange and green zones in their states. Prime Minister also told the Chief Ministers to prepare a detailed plan on how to ensure a phased exit from the lockdown. 9 Chief Ministers spoke during the meeting, addressing several concerns in the COVID fight. 4 Chief Ministers, including Naveen Patnaik, were in favour of extending the lockdown. The Odisha Chief Minister wants the lockdown to be extended by at least another month.
आमच्या म्हणण्याचं की लॉकडाऊन एक्सटेंड करतो म्हणल्यार इकॉनॉमिकल हे जे आसा एक्टिविटीज जे आसा विदीन द स्टेट इट शूड कंटिन्यू. बॉर्डर सील उरच्यो. देयर इज नो ट्रेन, नो प्लेन, नो पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट.
अभी दिल्ली को लेकर जो तस्वीर दिखाई दे रही है वो 3 मई के बाद, मतलब 3 मई करीब आने पे ही तय होगा और 1-2 दिन बाद, 2-3 दिन बाद सारे स्थितियों का आकलन करते रह के तय कर पाएंगे.
Several chief ministers demanded funds from the centre.
The government of India should give us an economic package. We are giving rise to the families also. Therefore, the government of Puducherry has to be financially helped by the government of India.
The Prime Minister assured the chief ministers the economy is in good shape. He seemed to suggest a two-pronged approach: continue the fight against the virus while giving importance to the economy.
The lockdown is all set to be extended for the second time. But this time around, the states will be driving it. And they will be deciding where to ease the restrictions and where to keep the containment extremely strict. With Bureau Inputs, Rahul Srivastava for India Today.
All right, joining me right now is the Deputy Chief Minister of Rajasthan, Sachin Pilot, on the possible exit plan of the state of Rajasthan, and will it be done in a phased out fashion? Appreciate you joining us, Sachin. Now, what happened in the meeting today with the Prime Minister through video conferencing, and what will be Rajasthan's plan from here on? Will there be a partial lockdown? Because there seems to be a clear division between green and red zones.
I think the PM made clear that the final decision of having a lockdown and how to proceed beyond 3rd of May will be a call taken on the 3rd of May. But to my mind, the approach has to be a mixed approach where you open up areas which are in green zones, which districts and areas of our country where we don't have any infections. Those areas can certainly be opened up. Because I think now we have to gauge and analyze as to the returns of the lockdown. I think there may be some diminishing returns, and yet we can't take the risk of opening up parts of our country which are still having a lot of infections. So as far as Rajasthan is concerned, the numbers are still rising. We're trying our best to contain those numbers. But the fact is that about 26 districts here, Rajasthan, have, from 2 to 600 cases. So we have to be very careful how to move about opening up the lockdown. And I also worry that while the lockdown being removed is an eventuality that we'll all have to come to in the end, how far and how much to open up, I think that's a moot question, and that decision should be taken in consultation with the scientific community, the doctors, the stakeholders, the various state governments, and I think what we have to do as a country is make sure that whatever decision we take, we have to follow it to the T. There's no point in having lockdowns if people don't maintain the sanctity of those lockdowns. There's no point in having curfews if people are violating those curfews. So I think the people have to really be very, very disciplined, and we can't take this lightly. We have to learn from the experience of the United States and European countries where, and I'm actually quite surprised in the US, there are still people that are using, gymnasiums and salons, etc. But in India, certainly with our density of population, we really can't afford to take that risk.
Mr. Pilot, now Rajasthan is mostly a rural state. How will the state formulate a possible exit plan? So what is the fine print for the state of Rajasthan?
We already have what we call a modified lockdown, because almost all the agricultural activities are taking place. It's harvest season. You can't have farmers not going to the fields. And of course, we need to keep a supply chain intact. So the food grains will run out if we don't harvest our current crop and then sow the seeds for the next crop. So agricultural purchase of food grains is happening. We've opened up the entire rural area. We've engaged a lot of labor in Narega. On 17th of April, when I first held a meeting, there were only 62,000 people enrolled for working in Narega. Today, I'm happy to inform you that we have more than 10 lakh people who have enrolled in doing Narega work. And we're focusing on people doing economic activities on their own lands, on their own homes, so that they create assets for themselves and yet get paid for it. And that's how I think you can revive rural economy. Unless you increase the consumption and the disposable income in the hands of the people, you can't have a revival. So I'm absolutely certain that in Rajasthan and in most other places, the rural economy has to be the focus. You contain and maintain the lockdown and curfew in hot zones, which a lot of infections are still coming in. And there are areas which have a propensity to have further infections. So those have to be, that data has to be extrapolated, taking no chances. And yet at the same time, in areas that are outside the limits of the cities, industries being allowed to function, labor is allowed to stay on the premises of the factory and still operate. So we're slowly and gradually and yet cautiously, breathing life back into the economy as we speak.
Final question, Mr. Pilot. Now, there are certain industry-centric towns as well. Of course, you cannot open out Bhilwara, but Bhilwara is a textile town in Rajasthan. Now, how will the state rather balance the human with the economic cost of this pandemic? Now, even if you're looking at a phased-out manner of removal, are you going to open public transport in the state at least?
That's a very tough call to take, because we need to get our industry back into functioning. We have to make sure that they adhere to all the precautions that we have mandated. Both Government of India and our government is mandating social distancing, personal hygiene, washing of hands. We've also thought of extending the shift of work from 8 hours to 12 hours. That involves less movement of labor and more productivity per shift. So we're looking at all these creative ways to nuance our policies so that we can get the most out of our workforce with the least possible risk to their health. Don't forget that the first job of any government is to make sure that our citizens, our people are healthy and are safe. That has to be a top priority. And yet the economic cost will take its toll. How much longer can the country like India be under a lockdown like this? So we have to start opening up. And I think that's the broad consensus that perhaps came about in the PM's meeting with the chief ministers of various states. And every state is different also, Preeti, because what might work in the Northeast may not work in Southern India. What is important for us in the heartland may not be so crucial for a coastal state. So we have to look at states, and within states, there are different districts which have different topography, different demography, a different response to the coronavirus, different capacities of healthcare infrastructure. Keeping all these various inputs in mind, we have to take a very calibrated approach on how to go about partially opening up the economy so that people have a sense of security. And don't forget, 83% of our workforce is in the unorganized sector. And those people live, hand to mouth, earn every day, feed their families every day. So our top concern has to be the lives and the hunger that these people are facing throughout India.
All right, appreciate you joining us, Deputy Chief Minister of Rajasthan. So what it seems like is, at least for the state of Rajasthan, there will be a partial lockdown where green zones are going to be separated from the red zones. With that, I just want to quickly shift focus on 7 at 7. A legal dispute in Delhi High Court between the distributors and importers of COVID-19 rapid test kits being shipped from China has unearthed massive profiteering and overpricing in kits sold to Indian Council of Medical Research. Congress alleged that some people were indulging in profiteering while supplying rapid test kits for COVID-19 to the government and demanded that the Prime Minister take action.
India's war on coronavirus is marred by a profiteering scandal. At the heart of the controversy are the rapid antibody test kits procured by the Indian Council of Medical Research from Chinese firms, which later allegedly turned out to be inefficient. A legal dispute in the Delhi High Court over the 2.24 lakh kits has revealed the details of overpricing. Importer Matrix Labs gets the kits at rupees 245 per test. Matrix Labs then sells the kits to distributor Rare Metabolics Life Sciences at rupees 400 per test. ICMR buys the kits from the distributor at rupees 600 per test. The High Court observed that a profit of rupees 155 is sufficient for the seller and slashed the price for every kit by 33%, from rupees 600 to 400 rupees per test.
This was a dispute between the distributor and the importer about when the payment should be made. The agreement was that the payment will be made upfront. However, the distributor was not able to make the payment because ICMR has stopped testing these kits and has not paid the distributor. So this was the dispute in the Delhi High Court, and it exposed this whole the whole pricing mechanism and how much profit was being made out of this.
The purchase of the kits at high prices is now a political controversy.
मैट्रिक्स लिमिटेड करके कंपनी का नाम है, मैट्रिक्स लैब। वही कंपनी तमिलनाडु सरकार को वही किट 400 रुपए में सप्लाई कर रही है। मतलब आईसीएमआर को 600 रुपए में, तमिलनाडु सरकार ने 50,000 किट्स का ऑर्डर दिया था, उनको 400 रुपए में।
The ICMR defends the deal, saying it bought the kits at the lowest bid it got. The body claims no payments have been made till now and the government won't lose a single rupee.
टेंडर देने के बाद जब उन्होंने सप्लाई किया तो उसके बाद जब फील्ड पर उनके बारे में कंप्लेंट आई तो आईसीएमआर ने इमीडिएटली रिएक्ट किया। आप सबकी नॉलेज में है, उसके बेसिस पर रिएक्ट करके उन्होंने उनको कैंसिल भी किया और कोई भी पेमेंट उन ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को नहीं दिया गया है।
The government also announced to put all rapid tests on hold because of the wide variation in test results. With Rajiv Dubey in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, now every day on 7 at 7, we bust or completely tarnish certain claims, myths that are floating about in social media because they are not true. Now, there is a claim right now which is making the rounds on WhatsApp messages on social media, which seems to suggest first volunteer in United Kingdom coronavirus vaccine trial has died. Well, the fact on that is, viewers, no such thing has happened. The volunteer, Elisa Granato, a scientist by profession, is very much alive and kicking. So false. Let's now take you to the other claim making the rounds. A wife of a Bengal BJP MP, Shaumitro Khan, took a flight during the lockdown. The fact check is these viral pictures are old, before the lockdown. So false again. All right, with that, it's a wrap on 7 at 7. Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.